Good evening everyone and welcome to the news tonight here on Sabha TV, where we get you the day's top stories from India and across the world in the next 30 minutes. I'm Tracy Shilshi and let's start with the headlines. The NDA government lists its achievements as the government completes 1 year in office, reiterates commitment to carry out land and tax reforms, but the opposition accuses the government of betrayal and non-fulfillment of promises. AIADMK Supremo Jayalalitha is set to take oath as Tamilnadu Chief Minister again tomorrow after the party MLAs elect her as the legislative party leader. Home Ministry issues a notification backing Delhi Lieutenant Governor. Chief Minister Kejriwal hits back, accusing the centre of trying to rule the capital through the back door. And the European Union agrees on a 1.8 billion euro loan to cash-strapped Ukraine, defies Russia's objection to hosting the 6 ex-Soviet neighbors in the summit. Our top story, the NDA government has reiterated its commitment towards a corruption-free and growth-oriented governance. Addressing a press conference on the completion of 1 year in power, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley listed several achievements of the Modi government and also took a dig at the opposition for their criticism of its various policies.
A very important highlight of this government has been to give a corruption-free administration to this country. सरकारी और राजनीतिक भ्रष्टाचार से देश को मुक्ति मिलेगी, ये जो आम नागरिक की इच्छा है वो हमने 1 वर्ष में करके दिखाया है.
Addressing a press conference on completion of 1 year of the Narendra Modi-led NDA government in power, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley reiterated his government's commitment to corruption-free governance. He also listed various achievements, including new schemes launched in the social sector, and expressed government's commitment to GST and the land acquisition bill, besides promising more funds for rural development and infrastructure.
There is absolute clarity with regard to the direction in which the government wants to go. और वो जो दिशा है, that direction is towards growth and development. और उसके लिए जितने निर्णय हो सकते हैं, मैं पूरी लिस्ट आपको दिखाने वाला नहीं हूं, आप में से अधिकतर लोग उससे अवगत हैं. एक रेगुलर इंटरवल्स पे, almost on a daily or a weekly basis, decisions are being taken in the direction which will augment growth and promote development.
Jaitley also criticized Congress for its opposition to reform measures like GST and amendments to the land acquisition law.
जो लोग उस तेज गति से परेशान हैं, वो स्वाभाविक इसके आलोचक भी हैं कि ऑर्डिनेंस क्यों लाए, मनी बिल क्यों लाए, धीरे धीरे निर्णय चलने दीजिए. लेकिन देश का भी आज मिजाज है कि ये देश धीमी गति को स्वीकार करने को तैयार नहीं है.
Finance Minister also said that NDA government has put in a lot of efforts towards cooperative federalism, and as a result, regional parties have expressed their support on several issues. Jaitley also listed government's priorities for the next year, which include passage of GST and land acquisition bill, completion of stalled projects in the infrastructure sector, and simplifying business procedure at entry point. Vishal Daya, Rajya Sabha TV, Delhi.
Well, Arun Jaitley's praise for his government notwithstanding, the opposition has continued to hit out at the Modi government for failing to keep its promises. There was also criticism for the Prime Minister's many foreign tours in the last 1 year.
Modi Sarkar's 1 year is not great in performance, but I believe we should wait for 1 more year to actually rate them, because till now it is only a process of image building that I see. Till now there is only a process of foreign tours that we see. Till now we see only the process of election speeches being repeated either in Parliament or elsewhere. There is no real action or no real strategy laid out as to the development of the country.
Arun Jaitley should be tendering an apology on behalf of Narendra Modi and his government government for the betrayal of the people and non-fulfillment of the promises.
I think the government has lost a very good opportunity with the mandate that they received a year ago. Exactly 12 months have passed by and the government really has not fulfilled any of its promises. You look at the cost of food items, the inflation is still not manageable. 8 times the price of diesel and petrol has been increased in the last 1 year. Look at the situation at the LOC, whether it's the Pakistan border or the Chinese border. There is a sense of insecurity and most importantly, I think nothing has been done by this government for the middle classes and for the agrarian poor, people who live in villages.
Well, through the weekend, we'll be hearing several more such reactions on Modi government's 1 year in office. Meanwhile, let's head on to some other news. And AIADMK Supremo Jayalalitha will be sworn in as Tamilnadu Chief Minister tomorrow. She met Governor K. Rajya today and staked claim to form the government. Acquitted in a disproportionate assets case, she will be returning to the post after a gap of 8 months.
The AIADMK legislature party elected Jayalalitha unanimously as its leader on Friday. The decision officially paved way for her return as the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu after 8 months. In a first appearance in public in 8 months, the AIADMK chief drove from her post-garden residence to the Raj Bhavan to stake claim. Later, she paid tribute to party's founder M.G. Ramachandran's statue at Annasalai. Huge crowd of her supporters lined up since morning celebrating Amma's return.
Feeling very happy. Tamil Nadu really has deserved the best, and Amma coming back will make Tamil Nadu again #1 state in India. Yeah, and it's a great sense of justice.
Soon after her election, Paneerselvam resigned from the post of Chief Minister. Jayalalitha is likely to take oath at 11 a.m. on Saturday at the Madras University. However, she needs to win a state assembly seat within 6 months of being sworn in. According to reports, she may also prepone the assembly polls, which is expected in less than a year. In September last year, she had to step down after being convicted in a disproportionate assets case. However, her acquittal by the Karnataka High Court this month lifted restrictions on her from holding any public post. Bureau Report, Rajya TV.
So let's find out more what we can expect in the coming months ahead in Tamil Nadu. We've got Shekhar Iyer, who's the Deccan Herald's political editor, joining us in studio this evening. Shekhar, thanks so much for joining us. Give us a sense. Do we see early elections?
Well, it's a possibility because Jayalalitha always weighs pros and cons of, the timing of elections. In any case, the elections are due in April, May of next year. And if she is getting into office tomorrow, which means she has about 6 months to get elected to the House.
Yes.
Which means she should get it done by November. And normally Election Commission has a time schedule where they can call elections or hold elections within a period of 6 months.
Okay.
So therefore, a period around November, December could be a slot where Jayalalitha could have in mind. But at the moment, I would think her main priority would be to, take control of the government.
Yes.
Because the reins were now with Paneerselvam, and the general talk has been there has been a drift in the administration. Number of government schemes have been have not been implemented in full vigor. And particularly, she had herself, come up with several measures like Amma Canteen, Amma Medicine, Amma Pharmacy, so on. I think now her idea would be that she gets into office and then again goes with a big bang impact on the electorate.
Yes.
Already, the fact that she managed to be exonerated by the Karnataka High Court has given her some kind of a boost, political boost.
Yes.
And to the party particularly, because the party was virtually rudderless in the last 7-8 months.
Yes.
So I think she would weigh everything and then decide. Of course, the opposition DMK has to gear up for any time election because she could time it at any time.
Yes. As far as the case is concerned, doesn't seem like the DMK, neither the Congress nor BJP seem to be going ahead, filing an appeal in the apex court. So that's, of course, also going to be in her favor, and she's, of course, going to use that as a momentum further ahead if she does call those elections early.
Well, I think because the scope for appeal lies with the Karnataka government, which is headed by the Congress. Now, I believe the Congress in Karnataka, at least the Congress leaders in Karnataka, including the Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, they do not seem to see much benefit for them, for the Karnataka state or the Karnataka politics to get into this.
Yes.
Though there is a view from central Congress leaders, this could be, they could take a call on this. But the fact that the decision is being, no decision is being taken, and what we get to hear from Bangalore is, that, we are taking some more time to see what the special prosecutor B.V. Acharya has recommended and what we intend to do, because this is a very peculiar situation, because Karnataka itself is not a party in the case, excepting the fact that the case involving disproportionate assets was actually filed in Tamil Nadu. Then the cases were transferred to Karnataka by the Supreme Court. So per se, the Karnataka has no particular interest in this case.
Yes. Let's just talk about the enigma that is Jayalalitha. She's coming back as the Chief Minister of the state, and this time, of course, with sycophancy on a high, if you could say so. There were reports of some fake news, and there was one person who in fact died due to that fake news. It always surrounds Jayalalitha, all these stories. Just give us a sense really what this verdict has done for her as far as her political future is concerned.
Well, I think if one considers a situation where, suppose the Karnataka High Court had upheld the conviction, that would have meant virtually she is out of the next, for the next 5-6 years. The next election is gone. Then after she completes her, till she moves in appeal and then gets a relief, but then that would not be before the next election, that would have been in 2021. So that would have taken a long course.
Yes.
And without her, the ADMK is no party, because there is no second line of command, or there is no chain of command rather. It's all Amma and nobody. So in that situation, a verdict like this from the Karnataka High Court has given a clean sheet and has given that moral ground, because the cases pertain to the period when she became Chief Minister for the first time. That was in 1991. So this was the first term in office, which was so controversial, and such cases came.
That's right.
Now, for her, this kind of getting a clean sheet, because the Karnataka High Court verdict is very clear. There is no ifs and buts. It very clearly says the cases were not properly investigated and there was miscalculation. So therefore, with that kind of moral ground that she will claim, she is likely to put the opposition, which is in a bad shape. For instance, the main opposition party, the DMK, is yet to put its house in order, because the leadership issue still remains not clear, in the sense that Karunanidhi is yet to formally nominate Mukha Stalin as his successor, because that has been dilly-dallying because of the sibling problem, the problem from his elder brother Mukha Aragari. So things have been on a kind of a drift in the DMK also.
Yes, like someone put it, this has been an imminent verdict really for the AIADMK. I'm sorry, we'll have to wind it here, Shekhar. Thanks so much though for joining us. Give us a sense really of what we can expect in the months to come. Thanks so much for joining us here. Meanwhile, let's head on back to Delhi now, and it's been about a week since the tussle between the government here and the LG began, but there are still no signs of a resolution after the centre issued a notification today backing the LG on bureaucratic appointments. Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal hit back, accusing the centre of trying to rule Delhi through the back door.
Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has been told clearly by the central government that it is not essential for him to be consulted on matters like the appointment of key bureaucrats. In a notification issued on Friday, the centre said that Lieutenant Governor Najib Jung can use his discretion. It emphasized that matters like the Delhi police and the postings of bureaucrats are the turf of the Lieutenant Governor, who acts as a representative of the centre in the capital.
Mr. Kejriwal has to understand the power rests with LG. Under Section 239A, the power rests with LG. And he can't supersede that. And he is not above law and above the law of the land. And he has to understand that there is a way out for everything. There's a way out for everything, and there's a proper way to do things.
Kejriwal retaliated soon. He held a press conference, a first in months, to accuse the centre of trying to rule the national capital, keeping the LG as its face. He also claimed that the centre is trying to place its own people in Delhi.
दिल्ली में ट्रांसफर पोस्टिंग की इंडस्ट्री चला करती थी, लाखों रुपए, करोड़ों रुपए 3 महीने के अंदर दिल्ली की आम आदमी पार्टी सरकार ने इस ट्रांसफर पोस्टिंग इंडस्ट्री को बंद कर दिया. कभी एलजी साहब ने ये नहीं पूछा अरविंद दिल्ली में बिजली ठीक ठाक है, कभी नहीं पूछा अरविंद सबको बिजली मिल रही है, कभी उन्होंने पूछा सबको पानी में, ट्रांसफर पोस्टिंग हमको दे दो.
Meanwhile, other parties blamed both Aam Aadmi Party and BJP for creating the situation, which is steadily taking the shape of a constitutional crisis.
Unfortunately, instead of paying heed to the problems faced by the people, both Aam Aadmi Party and BJP, they are busy fighting each other. They don't want to answer the real questions as to what happened to the promises made by them before the elections.
The appointment of senior bureaucrat Shakuntala Gamblin as acting chief secretary last week had triggered a full-blown tussle between AAP and the Lieutenant Governor, with Kejriwal questioning Najib Jung's authority and accusing him of trying to take over the administration. With inputs from Anu Devan, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
With a quick break here, and up ahead, the newly formed Janata Parivar hits a fresh roadblock over differences in seat sharing in the Bihar Assembly polls. Details ahead.
One year of the Narendra Modi-led government in power. Foreign policy initiatives stand out as a striking feature. How have they panned out and where are they headed? Watch the big picture at 9:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. You're watching the news tonight. Now, the recently formed Janata Parivar hit a fresh roadblock today. There are reports that even though Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar wants the merger to be finalized before the state goes to polls, there are differences between him and Lalu Yadav over seat sharing. The meeting called to iron out the details of the merger was also postponed today, and it could now be held on the 28th of May.
In his efforts to resolve the seat-sharing issue in Bihar, Samajwadi Party chief Mulayam Singh Yadav had called a meeting of Nitish Kumar and Lalu Yadav at his residence today. The meeting, scheduled for 11 a.m., however, failed to materialize. It was cancelled at the last minute as Nitish Kumar is reportedly unwell.
उनको आना था लेकिन आँख में उनकी दिक्कत है.
The meeting is now likely to be held on 28th of May. The postponement of the meeting has given the opposition BJP enough ammunition to attack Janata Parivar.
It is for them to decide if they want to get together. As far as the Janata Parivar is, it seems to be more a paper announcement, and every time there is something in terms of a merger, there are always two statements in the next few weeks speaking about delays or pointing towards what are the problems in it.
The Janata Parivar was formed in order to come up as a strong alternative to BJP in Bihar. But the failure of a seat-sharing agreement between Nitish Kumar and Lalu Yadav has created problems in the merger. Some senior leaders of the Samajwadi Party and even Mulayam's own family are reportedly unconvinced about the merger. This is Shyam Sundar's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And now for more updates across the country, let's take you nationwide. Senior IAS officer G. Mohan Kumar was today appointed as the new Defence Secretary. He has been appointed for a 2-year term. A 1979 batch IAS officer of the Odisha cadre, Kumar is presently the Secretary in the Department of Defence Production. An agitation by the Gujjar community in Rajasthan continued for a second day on Friday over the demand for reservation. Community leaders rejected the offer for talks by the state government. They have asked the state government to come up with a permanent solution. Gujjar leaders are demanding 5% reservation in government jobs under the 50% legal limit. A special court granted bail to Congress leader Naveen Jindal, ex-minister of the state for coal Dasari Narayan Rao, former Jharkhand Chief Minister Madhu Koda and 7 others in a coal block case. They were granted bail on a personal bond of 1 lakh rupees each and asked not to leave the country. The CBI has said in a charge sheet that to win a coal block allocation for his firm, Jindal promised support to Madhu Koda. Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Raman Singh expanded his 18-month-old cabinet today. He inducted 3 new ministers, taking the strength of his cabinet to 13. Governor Balramji Das Tandon administered the oath of office and secrecy to MLAs Bhaiya Lal Rajwade, Dayal Das Baghel and Mahesh Ganta. International news now. In European Union and Ukraine have signed a $1.8 billion loan deal which requires Ukraine to adopt a series of reforms including anti-corruption measures. Defying Russia's objections, the EU hosted 6 former Soviet countries in the summit.
EU has agreed to a $1.8 billion loan to Ukraine. It is EU's largest financial deal with a non-member. The deal aims to revive cash-strapped Ukraine, which has been badly affected by fighting with pro-Russian rebels in the east. Despite Russia's objections, the summit hosted 6 post-Soviet nations. At the end of the summit, a joint declaration was issued wherein leaders vowed to maintain their Eastern partnership despite differences on key issues.
Today, we all reaffirmed our common interest to continue developing strengthened, closer, differentiated relations with each of our partners to help them become more resilient in the face of increasing challenges to stability and security in the region.
The macrofinancial assistance programs follows already 2 other macrofinancial assistance programs amounting total of 1.61 billion euros, and it's actually the largest macrofinancial assistance program which has ever been committed to non-EU country.
3 of these, every single loan agreement that we enter into it, whether it's with the IMF, the World Bank, or in this agreement, there are reforms that are part of this effort.
However, issue of Greece crisis remained the center focus of the summit. Greek Prime Minister met the leaders of Germany and France, hoping to speed the resolution of the debt crisis. The Greek government states that a cash for reforms deal with the EU and IMF can be finalized in the next 10 days. However, German Chancellor Angela Merkel says much work still needs to be done.
The discussion was very constructive in a very good and friendly atmosphere. So I'm optimistic we can soon reach a long-term sustainable and viable solution without the mistakes of the past.
War ein sehr freundschaftlicher, konstruktiver Austausch, aber es ist auch klar, es muss weitergearbeitet werden mit den 3 Institutionen. Es ist noch eine ganze Menge zu tun. Frankreich und Deutschland haben Griechenland und dem griechischen Ministerpräsidenten angeboten, wann immer.
Meanwhile, British Prime Minister David Cameron used the EU summit to campaign for reforms in the 28-nation bloc. This comes ahead of a planned referendum to decide whether Britain should stay in or quit the bloc. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Islamic State militants have further made inroads into Syria. After capturing the ancient city of Palmyra, the militants have claimed stake over another key town bordering Iraq. Seeking Russian help in tackling the menace, Iraq said the world needs to formulate a clear political and military strategy to fight the group. The US too has admitted that the IS's growing power is proving to be a big challenge.
The Islamic State is fast gaining in strength in Syria. After capturing the ancient heritage city of Palmyra, it now claims control over Al-Tanf, a key border town near Iraq, pushing government forces on the back foot. The monitoring group Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said the militants are now in control of more than half of Syrian territory following 4 years of civil war. IS has already captured Palmyra's military airbase and prison. A video posted on social media shows the militants inside a gas station seized from the government forces in Palmyra.
المنطقة اليوم هي منطقة ملتهبة متوترة ليس فيها حلول مطروحة ويبدو أن هذا الأمر سيستمر لعدة سنوات وهي معرضة أيضا لإمكانية التقسيم في بعض بلدانها.
IS has also made significant gains in neighboring Iraq, raising concerns in entire of Middle East. After capturing Ramadi, they're now pressing eastwards. Iraqi Deputy Prime Minister Saleh al-Mutlaq said the international community needs a clear political and military strategy to fight Islamic State. Iraq has sought Russia's support and backing in military technical areas, but Russia has denied any direct involvement on ground.
موضوع مقاتلة داعش أصبح واضح أنه ليس موضوعا محليا. يجب أن تكون هناك استراتيجية واضحة من المجتمع الدولي لمقاتلة داعش، وإلا فإن الخطر قادم على من يتصور أن الخطر لم يصله بعد ولن يصل.
Речь идет об инвестициях в миллиарды. Мы развиваем отношения и в гражданской части нашего сотрудничества, и в военно-технической области.
The US-led air campaign against the Islamic State has also faced major setbacks. Washington has said the militants are proving to be a difficult challenge, but did not lose hope in the fight against IS. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And with that, let's get you more news from across the world in Global Buzz. At least 10 people have been killed and more than 70 injured in a suicide bombing at a Shia mosque in Saudi Arabia's eastern province. A huge blast occurred at a mosque in the Al-Qudai village where worshippers had gathered for Friday prayers. There was no immediate claim of responsibility for the bombing. The country's interior ministry has announced an investigation into the attack. China has said it was strongly dissatisfied with a US military plane flying over part of the South China Sea near the area where China is building artificial islands. It also warned the US to stop such actions or risk causing an accident. The developments came after the Chinese Navy issued warnings to the US advanced surveillance aircraft as it conducted the overflights on Wednesday. The series of man-made islands and the massive Chinese military build-up on them have alarmed the Pentagon. In the US, a grand jury has returned charges against 6 Baltimore police officers in the death of African-American Freddie Gray. 25-year-old Gray died of injuries he suffered while in police custody. The officers will be arraigned on the 2nd of July. The incident triggered waves of protests and riots across parts of Baltimore City last month. Voters across Ireland went to polls today in a historic referendum on the same-sex marriage. If the vote is in favour, Ireland will become the first country in the world to legalise gay marriage by a national vote. The reform is backed by all political parties, championed by big employers and endorsed by celebrities. Homosexuality was decriminalised in conservative Ireland only in 1993. And now let's get you the latest action from the world of sports in Sports Beat. Former Portugal forward Luis Figo has pulled out of the FIFA presidential election race. His decision came hours after Holland's Michael van Praag also withdrew from the race, leaving only 2 people in contention. Only current President Sepp Blatter, who is bidding for a 5th term in office, and Prince Ali bin Al Hussein are now in contention ahead of the vote involving 209 national federations next week. The president of Italy's Amateur Football Federation, Felice Bioli, was sacked following his controversial remarks against women footballers. The FIGC voted out Bioli on Thursday following the controversy. His comments came to light last week in a report on a football website which had obtained a transcript of the meeting. In tennis, world number 6 Milos Raonic and reigning French Open men's doubles champion Julien Benneteau announced to pull out of this year's tournament due to injuries. Raonic has been forced to withdraw after failing to recover from a right foot surgery he had after being knocked out of the Madrid Open quarterfinals by Andy Murray 2 weeks ago. Benneteau, meanwhile, will not be able to defend his men's doubles title due to an injury that has plagued him since March. And that's all we have for you on the news tonight from the entire team here. Good night and have a good weekend.